Sambutsuji is an ancient temple of Tendai Buddhist denomination located at 899.7 meter high Mount Mitoku in central Tottori Prefecture. In addition to Sambutsuji, there are 3 other temples around the foot of the mountain: Rinko-in, Shozen-in, and Kaijo-in. There is also a holy treasury that is home to a standing figure of Zaogongen, the highest object of worship in Shugendo, among other artifacts. On the mountain itself, there are several historic buildings that are important cultural properties as designated by the Japanese government. These include 3 buildings: Monju-do, Jizo-do, and Nokyo-do. At the deepest part of this temple complex, we find clinging to the side of a sheer precipice Nagaire-do, which is the innermost sanctuary designated as the national treasure Sambutsuji. According to temple lore, the monk Enno Ozunu found Mount Mitoku complex in 706. Later, Enno Ozunu, a practitioner of austerities, erected a building at the spot where the 3 lotus petals fell. There, he venerated the Buddhas and the Kami, God. It is said that this became an area for performing the training of mountain ascetics, Shugen. The lower reaches of Mount Mitoku comprise many scenic wonders, including caves, rocks, sheer precipices, and waterfalls. The vast natural forest that stretches from the mountain's foothills to its peak is inhabited by golden eagles and broad-billed rollers. It forms a place of scenic beauty. And so, here we begin our trek up to Nagaire-do, a building that is said to be Japan's most dangerous national treasure. The base of the temple approach marks the start of pilgrimage trail up the mountain. The round-trip journey to Nagaire-do from here takes around 2 hours. So, let's get started on our trip up the mountain. Starting here, you can enjoy a 360-degree view of the site from the air. Finish your climb up the stone staircases and you reach the temple's reception area. Let's check some of the things we need to remember before we start our climbing to Nagaire-do. If you want more details, please check the Sambutsuji website. There are 3 temples on the main grounds. Known as the 3 hermitages, they are Rinko-in, Shozen-in, and Kaijo-in. They are also known respectively as the upper, ue, middle, naka, and lower, shita temples. Kaijo-in is dedicated to Yakushi, or the healing Buddha. Shozen-in is dedicated to Shaka, or the historic Buddha. Rinko-in is dedicated to Amida, or the Buddha of infinite light and life. Now we enter Sambutsuji's main hall. The main hall was first erected in 849 by the venerated monk Ennin. It enshrines the Sambutsu, or the 3 Buddhas, Shaka, Amida, and Dainichi, the cosmic Buddha. The current hall was rebuilt in 1839, designated as a prefectural cultural property. It enshrines a 12th century Heian-era image of the Buddha. Your outerwear and shoes will be checked at the reception desk at the foot of the mountain. After you've entered your name in the registry, you will receive a wagesa. The wagesa is an informal type of monk's stole. People have worn these stoles to climb the mountain since antiquity. Now we've reached the Shikuiri-bashi Bridge. Once we cross this, we will have truly begun our climb up the mountain. With each step, the air around us becomes even more clear. The first obstacle we face is Kazura Hill. We need to work our hands and feet into the tree roots that crawl up the mountain and throw our whole selves into this climb. The distance is about 4 to 5 meters. This really feels like the aesthetic practice. After we've climbed Kazura Hill, we come to Monjudo. This is the first national important cultural property on our journey. Here, we need to get a firm hold on the chain and climb up. This style of building structures along the sides of steep cliffs or mountain slopes is known as kakezukuri or kengai-zukuri. The buildings are built atop pillars that match the height of the rocks. It is 435 meters high. Monjudo is surrounded by corridors. The ledge here is only a meter or so wide, so mind your footing. But do turn around to look. The view is majestic. On clear days, you can look out at the Sea of Japan and the distant Mount Daisen. Jizodo has come into view. This building, which closely resembles that of Monjudo, was built straddling a large boulder. The bottoms of the support pillars were cut to fit the rough-hewn boulder. This technique is known as hikaritsuke. In contrast to the square-cut pillars used with other parts of the structure, the two pillars that stand at the back of the inner sanctum, where the images of the kami, gods, and Buddhas are placed, are rounded. Looking at the roofs of Jizodo and Monjudo, we see that each has karahafu-style gabling that features an undulating curve along the top. Typically, karahafu gabling is used on the side of the roof from which people approach a temple building to worship. Here, however, it is on the back side of the roof. Here, we've reached Shoro-do Belfry, a prefectural cultural property that tradition says is dedicated to Minamoto no Yoritomo, the 12th century warrior who became Japan's first shogun. The current bell was fabricated during the Edo period, 1603 to 1868. It weighs 2 tons, which leads to the question of how it was lifted into place. Here we cross a rocky ridge line known as Umanose and Ushinose, or the back of a horse and cow. The path here is steep on both sides, so be careful of your footing. This structure is called Nokyodo, National Important Cultural Property. This is a small Kasuga-zukuri style building built in the late 11th century. It is said to house sutras copied down by trainee monks. We can see that, just like Jizodo, the center part of the sanctuary is surrounded on all 4 sides by rounded pillars. Kannon-do, prefectural designated cultural property, was built in a natural cavern. Temple lore says that it was rebuilt in 1648 by the first lord of the Tottori domain, Ikeda Mitsunaka. We move on now to the Tainai Kuguri, a word that means treading the womb, that forms the backside of Kannon-do. It is said that once you pass this point, you are reborn into your new self. After passing Kannon-do and Moto Yuikake-do, as we travel up along the cliff, Nakire-do, a national treasure and the innermost sanctuary of Sambutsuji, finally presents itself in all its stately magnificence. According to legend, Nakaire-do got its name from a tale that the fabled monk En-no Gyoja threw into it, Nakaire, with the power of the Buddhist law 1,300 years ago. A preeminent example of mountain Buddhism architecture, the main part of this building is about 4 meters deep by 2.4 meters wide. It is a kakezukuri style structure with a roof covered in cypress bark. The main pillars that support this structure are rounded. The eaves are buttressed by rectangular pillars. Once, they would have been painted in white and vermilion. The annual rings in the woods used to construct Aizendo, which is attached to Nakaire-do, show it was built in 1021. This provides evidence that this building was erected in the late 11th century. The dignified presence of Nakaire-do on this stark precipice has attracted believers for more than 1,300 years. Nakaire-do once homed the images of Zao Gongyan, the highest object of worship in Shugendo, 6 attendant images of Zaogongen and Komainu lion dog guardians. Important cultural properties that can be viewed at the Holy Treasury at the foot of the mountain include these 7 images of the Zaogongen and attendants, the Komainu guardians, the standing Shokannon statue that was the primary image venerated at the Kannon-do, the Jizo Bosatsu statue from the Jizo-do, and a bronze mirror. What did you think about this visit to Mount Mitoku? Please come to see for yourself what natural beauties and historical wonders await you at Japan's most dangerous national treasure.